Good afternoon. This is Melanie Bluegrass with Abolition News Network. Today is December 15th, 1859. We have here in our studio Florence Nightingale, the famous nurse and humanitarian. Her father was William Nightingale, and he was a wealthy Englishman. Her mother was most noted for being the daughter of William Smith, who was a member of the English Parliament and also known for supporting the emancipation of slaves in the British colonies. Florence got her name because she was born in Florence, Italy. From a young age, she was fond of nursing the sick, and she has also been called Lady of the Lamp. Please welcome to our studios, Florence Nightingale. So happy to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
So, Florence, I know that you wrote a book about nursing, and it came out about a year ago, and I want to talk to you about that. However, first, I want to talk to you about your education, and particularly in nursing, the occupation that made you famous worldwide.
Yes, well, I owe that to my father, who believed both of his daughters should have a proper education. We learned various things such as Greek, Latin, Italian, and German, as well as mathematics and other various education. And I actually also learned piano, and I was interested in other arts as well.
So it sounds like you've got a very well-rounded education. How did you become interested in healing the sick?
Well, I would always in my spare time go visit the needy and help bring them soup and clothes and blankets. And I already had that interest, and then I found a book in my father's library about nursing, and upon reading it, I became intrigued about nursing and wanted to learn more.
So I understand that you really got your start in nursing during the Crimean War of 1854. Tell us about that.
Yes, well, it was a cabinet member that was an old friend of my father's who had suggested me to join 37 other nurses to go, and there was about 45,000 troops, and out of that there was 18,000 that were in the hospitals for me to help treat, and that's about 40% of the troops that were there.
Oh wow, so what did you find when you arrived there?
Well, when we arrived there, it was worse than any of us expected. There were infestations of rodents and fleas, and there were about 11 men that died on my first day there, and my second day there, let's see, there was about 600 wounded that had come in, and that brought the total to about 3,000 under my care alone.
So with so much to tackle, where did you start?
Well, the first place to start was the kitchens. We needed some place to get 100 gallons of water and tea and liquid food for those that were hungry. And also, we needed a washing house for the linens because they were rotten and filthy.
So that's quite a project. What did you discover about illness and their cures?
Well, upon writing my novel, Nursing, What It Is and What It Is Not, I wrote about the importance of fresh air. A lot of people would think that it was mysterious that their children would die, but the fact is it's not mysterious at all. You see, they would be held up in these wards and there'd be no air ventilation at all, so they would be breathing in this poisonous air.
So what about the theory of swamp humors in the air?
That's one of the biggest fallacies of them all, including people who talk about the open windows and the night air. Most nights the night air won't do any harm. The only reason why people will get sick is because they're stuck inside all day long, especially, the ladies, robust women who get sick because they're breathing in this poisonous air with no ventilation in their house.
So that's all very interesting, and I hope that your book does very well so people learn about these fallacies and the truth about disease. Tell us what you learned about mental and emotional help with all of these soldiers that you were working with.
Um, well, previously, doctors and nurses would take what they learned out of books, but what I've learned is that the most important thing for people to heal is good news. I'll read you a couple inserts to give you an example of what I'm talking about. For example, chattering hopes may seem an odd healing, but I really believe there is scarcely a greater worry which invalids have to endure than the incurable hopes of their friends. There is no one practice against which I can speak more strongly from actual experience, wide and long, of its effects during sickness, observed both upon others and upon myself. I would appeal most seriously to all friends, visitors, and attendants of the sick to leave off this practice of attempting to cheer the sick by making light of their danger and by exaggerating their probability of recovery. And then also I have in here, to add to that, a sick person does so enjoy hearing good news. For instance, of a love and courtship while in progress to a good ending. If you tell him only when the marriage takes place, he loses half the pleasure, which God knows he has little enough of. And then, in 10 to 1, but you have told him of some lovemaking with a bad ending. And also, another thing, people enjoy hearing good news such as a new baby born.
That's interesting. So on another note, I heard that you met Queen Victoria. Tell us about that.
Ah, yes. She heard about me and invited me to meet with her, and she did give me this beautiful cross emblazoned with jewels.
Oh, that's beautiful.
But most importantly, she did donate to us 50,000 pounds silver sterling for us to start up this new nursing school.
Wow, that's great. So do you have any parting words for your followers who are also thinking about going into the nursing field?
Yes, I do, but I think that it is already, a good advice is already written in this book, and I'll share that. First, I want to say the first canon of nursing, the first and last thing upon which a nurse's attention must be fixed, the first essential to the patient, without which all the rest you can do for him is as nothing, with which I had almost said you may leave all the rest alone, is this: to keep the air he breathes as pure as the external air, without chilling him. Yet what is so little attended to, even where it is as though of at all, the most extraordinary microceptions reign about it. And then also, I have one last parting word. The surgery removes the bullet out of the limb, which is as obstruction to cure. But nature heals the wound, so it is with medicine. The function of an organ becomes obstructed. Medicine, so far as we know, assists nature to remove the obstruction, but does nothing more. And what nursing has to do in either case is to put the patient in the best condition for nature to act upon him.
Interesting and very remarkable. Thank you so much for being here. You are truly a pioneering nurse, and wherever there are soldiers to heal and military to serve, we will think of your name, your magical name, Florence Nightingale. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is Melanie Bluegrass with Abolition News Network saying good afternoon.